In 2018, Skoda, on behalf of the Volkswagen Group, announced an investment of €1 billion under the India 2.0 project banner. Last year, they previewed the first product for the Indian market in the form of the Vision IN, and now we finally have the production car in the flesh. This is the Skoda Kushaq. But before we dive deep into what it looks like, what are the exteriors like, what are the interiors like, what features you get, and what are the engine options, do remember to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time we go live with a video on AutoToday. Now, in terms of proportions, the overall length, width and height, the Skoda Kushaq is slightly smaller than chief rivals like the Kia Seltos and the Hyundai Creta, but it does have a longer wheelbase. And those slightly smaller dimensions do reflect in the way the car looks in the flesh. It does seem a tad smaller than those cars I mentioned earlier. But overall, the car is quite smart, in my opinion at least. I love the way the headlamps have been done, this aggressive design with these LED DRLs and the Skoda family SUV look which we've seen in the Kodiaq and the Karoq in the past. Again, the grille is a typical Skoda with this badge over here. And to highlight its SUV credentials, Skoda has given ample black cladding and this 4 silver skid plate towards the bottom of the bumper. Now we move on to the side of the car. Again, in typical Skoda fashion, there are sharp lines that define the exterior of the Kushaq, especially this thing called the signature line called the tornado line, which as Skoda calls it, which starts from around this chrome badging and goes all the way to the rear. Again, more cladding towards the bottom and roof rails to once again highlight the SUV nature of the car. This one is the top of the line variant, sits on 17-inch alloy wheels, and these are the ones you'll get in the top of the line variant. The variant below also gets alloys, but they're a slightly different design and smaller, and the base variant comes with steel wheels. Now we move on to the rear of the car. LED lights in the typical Skoda signature, looks quite smart. The reflector strip over here and more black cladding and silver skid plate to highlight the way the rear looks. The new Skoda lettering, which is spread along the boot instead of the badge, is here in the Kushaq as well. There's some chrome added to give it a touch of premiumness, something that will please the Indian car buyers in general. Now the boot of the Skoda Kushaq isn't the biggest in the segment. It is deep and pretty well shaped, but it is lower in terms of volume as compared to rivals like the Creta and the Seltos. Talking about the interiors of the Skoda Kushaq, first impressions are rather positive. Skodas are generally known for their premium feel and the feeling of quality, and all that has been translated very well in the Kushaq as well. The steering wheel is a very unconventional looking 2-spoke unit, so there's this gap over here, and you get knurled finish knobs for controlling various functions of your telephone, audio, etc. etc. What meets the driver's eye, although isn't all that fancy, it's a little plain, at least for my liking. Analog dials with a central MID. Maybe Skoda could have given it a more flamboyant instrument panel, but again, that's a personal opinion. Moving on to the center console, there's a nice large 10-inch screen which has several functions including Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and there are connectivity features on offer as well. This is a freestanding touchscreen which almost looks like a tablet stuck onto the dash, and around it is this really nice knurled pattern, which is again something unique and adds a bit of premiumness to the interiors. So does the chrome line that stretches along the length of the dashboard from both ends. In terms of the features, you get ventilated seats, automatic climate control with the buttons which are all touch sensitive. There are no knobs, so it might be a little hard to operate on the go, but that's for you to decide whether you like it or not. Just under that is a large space for wireless charging for placing your phone, and Skoda has gone with 2 USB Type-C charging ports instead of regular USB ports. Now this is something we've seen mostly in premium cars until now, but Skoda has decided to give these in the Kushaq as well. There's a 12-volt socket right here, and behind the gear selector is a usual cup holder and a slot for probably storing the key. The central armrest has a rather deep storage space. The seats are finished in shades of grey with contrast orange stitching to liven things up a little. There is an auto-dimming IRVM. Other features include auto headlamps and rain sensing wipers as well. And you get a sunroof. It's not a panoramic sunroof, it's a smaller one, but you still get a sunroof, which is something Indian buyers tend to like. So long wheelbase of the Skoda Kushaq bodes well for interior space, especially if you're sitting in the rear. This seat is set to my driving position and my height for reference is 5'8", and as you can see I have plenty of knee room and there is enough space under the seat for me to stretch out my legs. Thigh support is really good as well. The recline angle is comfortable again, and the seats have these nice contours to hold you in place. You get the central armrest with cup holders, and although the floor isn't exactly flat, it is sort of flat-ish, if I can say that, and that will work well for the person sitting in the middle, although the width isn't as generous as some of its rivals, so this is best suited for 2 individuals rather than sitting 3 people in the back. Rear seat occupants get aircon vents and again USB Type-C charging ports like we saw in the front, and there is this very nifty pocket to place your phone inside, which is again, you know, part of the general philosophy of Skodas of being simply clever, which is their tagline. Headroom is ample enough. Again, I'm 5'8" for reference, it is quite ample for me, and I think even if taller individuals are sitting here, they would be fine with the headroom on offer. Skoda will offer the Kushaq with 2 engine options. There's a 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol and there is a 1.5-litre turbocharged petrol engine. This one is the 1-litre 3-cylinder unit. It puts out about 115 bhp of maximum power and a peak torque of 175 Newton meters. And you will be able to buy it with either a 6-speed manual transmission or a 6-speed torque converter automatic. The other engine, the 1.5, that's obviously more powerful. It produces 150 bhp of maximum power and 250 Newton meters of peak torque, and that one is available with a 6-speed manual transmission and a 7-speed DSG. Skoda will offer the Kushaq in active, ambition and style trims, and there will be 5 exterior color options to choose from. While an exact launch date hasn't been announced yet, the SUV will go on sale sometime around June this year. And as we mentioned, it will take on heavyweights like the Hyundai Creta and Kia Seltos. We're expecting pricing to be quite competitive, especially for the 1-litre variant. The Skoda Kushaq is likely to cost around Rs 10 to 17 lakh ex-showroom. What do you think of the Skoda Kushaq? Feel free to share your opinions in the comment section below, and don't forget to come back to our channel for a full-fledged review.